That was Green Day performing at the iHeartRadio Festival over the weekend in Las Vegas. But when lead singer Billie Joe Armstrong believed production was giving him 1 minute to wrap up his set, the rocker went totally ballistic during that 60 seconds. Let's take a look at another clip.
I've been around since 1988. And you're gonna give me 1 minute? You gotta be kidding me. What the I'm not Justin Bieber, you mother. Let me show you what 1 minute means.
Now that is a rock star meltdown of epic proportions. Joining us to discuss what led up to that moment is Celeb Buzz News Director Andrea Simpson, and from South Padre, Texas, Executive Clinical Director at the Origins Recovery Centre, Mandy Baker. Now, Andrea, first to you, this rant happened Friday, but Sunday morning the band posted a message on Facebook to reveal what?
Exactly. Their message had said, Billie Joe seeking treatment for substance abuse. We would like everyone to know that our set was not cut short by Clear Channel, and to apologize to those we offended at the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas.
Now, Andrea, you have been in touch with many family members. What can you add to this story?
Well, I actually just got off the phone with Claudia Suarez, who is the ex-wife of the drummer Trey Cool.
Oh, yeah.
And she had actually revealed some exclusive details. She said that he had been heavily drinking the night of the show for the iHeart Music Festival, and he has actually entered rehab today.
Right. Now, that's interesting in a lot of ways, and I want to bring you in, Mandy, now. He's a Grammy award-winning rock star. He has every right to stay on the straight and narrow. He's unable to stay on the wagon. What kind of pressures do being a performer play on someone's sobriety?
Well, Dylan, thank you. And certainly being a performer does add an extra level of difficulty in remaining sober. Certainly the stress plays havoc with the brain. The schedule that we ask rock stars to keep certainly prevents them from developing some of the accountability networks that other individuals in recovery might be able to develop that would certainly help them on their path to sobriety. We have to remember that addiction is a chronic brain disease with relapsing tendencies, and certainly, our heart goes out to Billy as he enters rehab to seek help for this alcohol problem.
Now, when you look at that meltdown, and it is certainly burning up the internet, doing very well on YouTube, as you can imagine, as I said, a meltdown like we've never seen before. Are there any telltale signs that this guy's got some problems? I mean, he's smashing a guitar.
Certainly. It's sometimes difficult to tell the difference between addictive type behavior and rock star performance. But I would say that certainly some of the telltale signs just include his general level of agitation, certainly his lack of control, or what seems to be a lack of control when he began on the meltdown. We know that addiction impairs the prefrontal cortex of the brain, which is that place that regulates some of our behavior and also our executive functioning and logical thinking. And I think it would be hard to say that anyone would call his behavior logical. So I think this is a place where we may see that his addiction is coming to the foreplay.
Mandy, I just want to try and extrapolate on something you said there. You mentioned that it has an effect on the brain. So what effect does alcohol then contribute to it?
Well, alcohol contributes in a couple of different ways. One is certainly in the short term for anybody that's ever been drunk, which I could imagine that most people that are hearing this show at this time
Hear. Yes, hear.
Yes, absolutely. Can identify with is that we lose some of our inhibition. Over the long term, alcohol consumption begins to interfere with a region of the brain called the limbic system. And this is sort of our pleasure and pain center. And we begin to direct resources to this, which is where the addiction takes place. And resources in the brain then move away from, as I mentioned before, the forward part of our brain, which is sort of what you might consider to be the adult brain, if you will, the place where our decision making is lodged, the place where we make consequence and action decisions. And so certainly for somebody who's been drinking for a long period of time, this area of the brain becomes stunted, if you will. And so therefore we begin to have difficulty with decision making. We begin to have difficulty understanding how the actions that we're undertaking are going to affect us later on.
So would he have taken pleasure in any way from smashing the guitar? Is that what was going through his mindset at that given time?
That's more of a question. Certainly, I think we would have to ask Billy, but it's certainly a means of getting out some aggression and some anger, and certainly some of that may be directed at himself and what was going on in his personal life. Unfortunately, it was displayed in a very public way.
And he has a massive press tour ahead of him to promote his forthcoming album. How much time would he really need to spend in rehab in order for him to get healthy enough to again return to the stage?
Well, Dylan, what we seem to know from the research currently is that the magic number lies somewhere in the 75 to 120 day range. A lot of people and a lot of programs, such as Origins, really recommend at least a minimum stay of 90 days. This is really what's required for the brain to heal itself. For it to detox, it usually takes about 30 days. And then the 60 to 90 day marks are where we really begin to see the brain healing itself. And some of those executive functioning, logical decision making, a lot of those cause and effect relationships then begin to come forth and heal themselves so that we're better in decision making. I'm not sure how long Billy's going to have in rehab. Certainly, any time that he spends there is of great benefit to him.
All right, Mandy, thank you very much for joining our discussion today. Terrific insight. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much for your time. And to Andrea Simpson, thank you for your insight as well. Great reporting there with those latest developments. And for the absolute up-to-the-minute news on this Green Day story, head on over to the website celebbuzz.com. When we return, the shocking Modern Family moments before and during the Emmys that you don't want to miss. We'll be right back.